Hello, hardworking students. Just as a special bonus to you, I am making available this week only, free of charge, a preview of your little quiz. It was called a test, but it's really just a little quiz over basics of documenting and paraphrasing. So you should have already reviewed this in your Seagull handbook carefully and listened to these inspiring lectures by your professor on this topic, including the eating the paper lecture, and also maybe even read a little bit about what was already said about paraphrasing by that instructor. Okay, so here is the actual question. Okay, so the first thing obviously you're going to do is look at the question itself, right? You're going to make sure you've got a good handle on that. So it does say you're going to write a complete paragraph there, and so in this paragraph you're going to explain the importance of paraphrasing. Why paraphrase it is really what the question is saying, right? So then it asks you to do a few other operations. This one can throw you a little bit, so that's why I did this preview. Write a paragraph in which you paraphrase that first paragraph. So you were first going to write a paragraph, so you've got two paragraphs. The paragraph where you explain the importance of paraphrasing, and then one in which you paraphrase your own first paragraph. So you might want to practice this, and you can borrow information, but remember, if you do, either paraphrase it and document it, or put it in quotes. So those same rules apply. Very, very important for a lot of reasons. Okay, so use a signal phrase, an imaginary parenthetical for your paraphrase, and even a works cited entry. So this is all imaginary because you're really paraphrasing yourself. All right, so let's see how we might be able to do this, right? Okay, so we're going to go down here, and I'm going to pretend I'm writing a paragraph. Look at that. Okay. This is what I already wrote on Moodle. So this is, if I were going to do this, I'd say, according to esteemed community college online professor Edward T. Wise, or some such. And then this is the original, okay, about the importance of paraphrasing. And according to this guy, it's important because it allows a person to actually participate in very important discussions, be they election year discussions, in a meaningful way. Because I can't really respond to what you've said or written unless I can comprehend it. You know, it's really as simple as that, unless I can take it in and be fully conversant with it, and then be able to regurgitate it, if you want to use that word, in my own words. So it is what I'm hearing you say is business, and obviously I have to be able to sometimes reread passages in order to get to the heart of them. Or listen more carefully. So, and this is the downside of that. If I can't put what you said or wrote into my own words, or what someone did, all I can do is simply repeat it, like repeating the last thing you just heard. Repeating the last thing you just heard. Isn't that silly? But I'm in no position to respond to it if I didn't really get it, if I didn't really understand it. Okay. Somebody left out a period there. I don't know what happened. Okay. So, next thing I would do is, another signal phrase down here. I'm not going to do all this, but I'd have to put a signal phrase in there. And of course, there are so many different ways of putting this. Former Porterville College professor Edward T. Wise claims that, and then now. So I want to paraphrase that. There may be a little condensation involved in that, a little summary, but for the most part, I simply have to get at the heart of what's most important and change the wording. So I've got to think about how I'm going to come up with new words, my own, to say basically the same thing, not just something that doesn't represent the original, but the same basic gist of the original. Okay? So, according to Professor Wise, let's take this. The skill of paraphrasing is an absolute prerequisite for being qualified to join the richly rewarding arena of public discourse, becoming eligible to participate in the academic discussion. So, now, when I'm going to change that wording, paraphrasing is let's just take, for example, paraphrasing is essential for several key reasons. One of which is that joining in conversations of a public nature may be difficult, if not impossible, without being able to put the original into one's own words. Okay, so there's a rough paraphrase of one of the key points. So I would put that down here, and I would make up a parenthetical of some kind. In this case, maybe I name a book. Let's call it The Art of BSing is the name of the book, and then I would put I'd put a page number 1221, and put my into that, and then I would put that, and then it asked me to do an actual works cited entry. So I would have something here saying works cited, and then I would have the full name of the author, last name first, Wise Edward T. period, then the full name of the book, The Art of BSing, and correct, all of that. Prentice Hall, New York, 1958. I don't know. Okay. So that is the way that works. So you really, that can throw you a curve if you don't know how to go about that. But I think with this little help, you'll be great. Okay. Bye for now.